Have you ever heard the term deep state and wondered what it actually means? It sounds like something out of a spy thriller, right? Well, it's a concept that's been debated for decades, and it continues to spark controversy and intrigue. In the simplest terms, the deep state refers to a hidden network of individuals within a government bureaucracy. They supposedly wield power behind the scenes. Think of it like a secret society operating within the government. This hidden network allegedly influences or controls government policy. They do this without being accountable to elected officials or the public. Those who believe in the deep state often describe it as a group of unelected officials. These officials use their positions to advance their own agenda. They might manipulate events, control information, and even undermine elected leaders. They're like the puppet masters pulling the strings from the shadows. However, it's important to note that not everyone buys into this idea. Critics argue that the deep state is nothing more than a conspiracy theory. They claim it's a way to explain away complex political realities or to demonize opponents. So is the deep state real or just a figment of our imaginations? Let's delve deeper into this shadowy world and explore both sides of the argument. The belief in a deep state is rooted in a distrust of authority and a sense that things aren't always as they seem. It's the idea that there's a hidden hand guiding events, a group of individuals working behind closed doors to shape the world according to their own interests. Throughout history, there have been numerous examples of secret societies, clandestine operations, and behind-the-scenes maneuvering. From the Illuminati to the Freemasons, these groups have long captured the imagination and fueled speculation about their influence on world events. In the context of modern governance, the deep state is often associated with intelligence agencies, military officials, and high-ranking bureaucrats. These are individuals with access to sensitive information and the ability to exert influence over government policy. Proponents of the deep state theory argue that these individuals operate outside the traditional channels of accountability. They are not answerable to the public or even to elected officials. They act in secrecy, pursuing their own agendas and protecting their own interests. This lack of transparency and accountability fuels suspicion and distrust. It creates fertile ground for conspiracy theories to flourish. When people feel like they are not being told the whole truth, they are more likely to believe in alternative explanations, even if those explanations are based on speculation and conjecture. So who are these alleged puppet masters pulling the strings from behind the curtain? The answer, according to deep state theorists, is a mixed bag of individuals and organizations. At the top of the list, you'll often find intelligence agencies. Think of groups like the CIA in the United States or MI6 in the United Kingdom. These agencies operate in secrecy, gathering information and conducting covert operations around the globe. Their very nature makes them susceptible to accusations of shadowy dealings and hidden agendas. Next up, we have high-ranking military officials. These are the generals and admirals who control vast military resources and have the ear of powerful politicians. Deep state believers argue that these military leaders can exert undue influence on foreign policy decisions, pushing for military intervention or escalation, even when it might not be in the best interests of the nation. Then there are the career bureaucrats, the seemingly endless layers of government officials who keep the machinery of state running. While they may not have the same level of overt power as intelligence chiefs or military brass, these individuals often possess deep knowledge and expertise in their respective fields. This makes them difficult to replace and gives them significant influence over policy implementation. And let's not forget about corporate elites. In today's globalized world, multinational corporations wield immense economic and political power. Deep state theorists argue that these corporations often have a cozy relationship with government officials, using their wealth and influence to shape policy in their favor. Now that we've met some of the alleged players, let's talk about how the deep state supposedly exerts its influence. One of the key ways is through the manipulation of information. Think about it. In the age of information overload, it's becoming increasingly difficult to discern fact from fiction. Deep state believers argue that these shadowy networks use their power to control the narrative, feeding the public carefully curated information while suppressing dissenting voices. They might plant stories in the media, leak classified documents strategically, or even engage in outright propaganda to sway public opinion. But it's not just about controlling what we know, it's also about controlling what we don't know. Deep state theorists allege that these networks engage in cover-ups and stonewalling, burying evidence of their misdeeds and silencing whistleblowers who dare to speak out. Beyond information control, the deep state is also accused of directly influencing government policy. Want to start a war? Easy, just have your intelligence agencies fabricate some evidence of an imminent threat. Need to derail a political opponent? Just leak some compromising information to the press. The possibilities, according to deep state believers, are endless. They argue that these networks operate with impunity, their actions hidden from public scrutiny, and their motives shrouded in secrecy.